Kilo Delta 4 India Zulu.
Kilo Delta 4 India Zulu, roger, roger. And what's the name there?
The name is Jack, and I am in north central Maryland, north of Baltimore. Over.
Roger, Jack. And what's your radio, sir?
Well, at the moment you're listening to an ICOM 705. Over.
I'm not familiar with the 705. Is that a recent radio?
Yes, it's brand new. It is the QRP, I guess you would call it the analog of the 7300. However, it also has UHF and VHF band capability. Limited to 10 watts, but I'm driving an amp at the moment. Over.
Rogers, well, gosh, I think we could make it a little fatter if you might be interested.
Absolutely. That's why I called in. Over.
Okay, sir. Starts, generic setup procedure starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does exactly what it needs to do. So engage that compressor at a 3. Okay, the compressor is at a 3.
I have used your instructions to set up a 7300, which is my main radio. But this one, watching the ALC meter at the moment with a little drag in the speaking pattern, so I can see where it peaks, and it's popping right up to where it should.
And that would be a mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
Roger, roger.
All right, and now let's go to your EQ, your equalization. Do you know how to get to there?
Yeah, actually the menu is identical to the 7300 for many of the items, so we can follow that. The one thing I have to do, if I key up the set menu, the set menu on this one goes away.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that on radios. You know, the radio seems to know more than what I want to know about where it should be, you know. That's one of the most difficult things for somebody just, getting a radio and trying to figure out how to set it up and use it, is that the menu keeps going somewhere else. When I put something on a menu, when I go somewhere, I want that menu to stay there until I decide for it to go somewhere else.
Yeah, roger that. Okay, now I'm in that menu setting, and it does stay there once you're in it. But if you're in the set menu and you haven't gone into the settings for that audio contour, it gives you a little grief. Yeah, looking at where I am now, my bass is set for -1. A treble for +2, so bass -1, treble +2, and my bandwidth is at the maximum setting, so TBW is set for wide. Over.
Yes, sir, that wide is 100 to 2900, Roger.
Yes, sir, that wide is 100 to 2900, Roger.
Roger, roger.
N9Gto, November 9, Golf Tango Oscar.
Roger, Roger, Lou, stand by just a moment. All right, Jack, what I want you to do is increase your treble control by 1 click. Increase your treble control by 1 click. And I want you to increase your bass control by 1 click. So treble +1 from where you are, and bass +1 from where you are.
1 from where you are, and bass +1 from where you are.
Okay, that is now done. The bass is it's flat, actually. It's at 0. And the transmit treble is at +3. +3, go ahead.
Okay, go one more top end, one more treble click. So it'll be a total of 2 clicks boost from where you were.
It'll be a total of 2 clicks boost from where you were.
Yeah, roger. There we go. Okay, that's, wait a minute. That was the bass. I just went stupid on myself. Let me back the bass down by 1 and the treble up by 1.
Alrighty, so review and tell me what the bass and trebles are now.
So review and tell me what the bass and trebles are now.
Okay, the bass is flat. It's at 0. The transmit treble is at +4, and I've only got one more step to go. Over.
Roger, you're fine. You're fine right there. I would run it just like that. You have plenty of articulation, and you do have a little bit fuller on the bottom end. You're still rolling off above 300 cycles, but you have just a little more bottom end. Your pass band is just a little bit bigger now, audio-wise. Roger.
Band is just a little bit bigger now, audio-wise. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Now, I am using a headset, and the headset is a Sennheiser noise-canceling Bluetooth headset. This is completely remote, no wires. And that may be affecting the audio contour a little bit. I have the stock mic, and I've never really checked the stock mic for the differences over.
Well, it depends on what you're going to be doing mostly. There probably are two different sounds, particularly a headset mic usually is a lot sharper than a normal desk mic. But, we really need to set it up for what you'll be doing mostly, Roger.
We really need to set it up for what you'll be doing mostly, Roger.
Yes, and that's why I have the headset on. I will be using this portable, and the headset will be part of what I do. The regular microphone for this is a little speaker mic, and I've never really looked to see what the effect was, contour-wise or anything like that. I could, I suppose, use one of my other radios and take a look at or the SDR. And take a look at it and see what the contour looks like. But it sounds like I'm pretty much where I want to be. But thank you very much. Go ahead.
Roger, looks really good. Now, remember that anytime you change mics, you must always go back to your ALC and check your level. Because, I can attest to the fact that each microphone has a different output level. Some are more aligned with others, but there are some that are drastically different. So the best thing to do is when you switch mics, always go back and double check your ALC to be sure that you're running that mic mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Running that mic mid-scale to 2/3. Roger? I'd like to make a comment.
Roger. Go ahead.
Yes, you can also go to K3FEF.com, and you can press record. You can press record on K3FEF.com, and you will be right below the signal box there. You talk, get in there and talk. Talk to somebody or talk to yourself. Do a testing. And record that, and then turn your radio down and listen to yourself on K3FEF. And you can adjust the bandwidth of that receiver as well. And always remember the last digit's going to be 3 off. That's a communication issue. All the SDRs are like that. It's just is what it is. I complain about it, but I've been told shut the hell up, Lou. But anyway, I'm the guy that's responsible for creating the great KC9VKV masterpiece, which he was a masterpiece when I was a young child, bugging the hell out of WHAS. But he is a great deal of fun to be with. And I'm just going to have to get some kind of bat phone, or he's going to email me his cell phone tonight so that I can wear it out. I even pay the damn bill if I have to. But I had a piece of 100-foot direct burial Davis coax that I've been hooking up different antennas to, and it's driving me crazy. Something was wrong. The antennas weren't right. Well, it wasn't the antennas. It was the coax. It's defective. And it was shorted within inside itself somewhere. I haven't found out where, but that's something me and BKV will do this spring. But I do have LMR 400 here now, and I'm talking. This is N9Gto on the 7700. Talking to you live on a full wave loop. 90 degrees out of phase with a 80-meter loop tied together.
Now, you know, the thing is now, I have given him a foam windscreen. I have given him a foam windscreen to run on his microphone, and he won't do it. I don't know. I mean, he'd take an old dirty sock or something and put on that mic. But FYI, Lou, your frequency content is, I'm looking at my audio through the mix board direct, and I'm looking at yours on the receive, and yours is on receive as good as mine direct.
Well, I'm not a professional on that, and with everything going on medically, I just consider myself a appliance operator, considering you. But I'm using my 7300 microphone on a 7700 ICOM, and I like that better.
Oh, you're not on the 7300?
No, sir. I'm on the 7700, the one my daughter bought me used from the ham station a couple years ago. It sits beside the bed. I had the 7300 on top of it for other bands because I have 5 coaxes. You know me. Every antenna has its own radio. I don't believe in switches, and I don't believe in tuners.
Yeah, I hear you there. I know you're right. I don't either. Pretty much the same thing. The thing is, you know, it gets down to antennas, and being all that you can be, it's important that you not waste power through an antenna, tuner, either in your radio or outboard. And it doesn't take a lot to be able to tune your antenna to get down to 0.05. The way I do it is I do the a dipole antenna without transformer and all that stuff is unbalanced basically, and I do my SWR on adjustments on one side of the dipole, and I do bring it back on frequency on the high side of the dipole, and I keep going back and forth working that SWR down on the ground side of the dipole to as far as I can get, and then I go back and check what frequency the antenna is, and I make that correction back to the frequency I'm looking for on the high side of the dipole. And you just keep going back and forth like that till you work yourself right down to a 0.05 SWR. All right, Lou, what else is happening over in your neck of the woods?
Well, we must not forget the X factor. The lower the X factor on the SWR analyzer is so important. Get close to 50 ohms. Get your 1.1 to 1 or thereabouts, and you'll have a great antenna. Now, if you have a 1.0 to 01 at 50 ohms, X factor is 150, you got a W load. You got a piece of junk. But if you got an antenna that's hot, and by the way, you're giving me a 60 over, you're burying my meter on my 7700. I had to put the attenuator on, and you're still burying the meter. So again, I'm on a 40 meter full wave loop vertically from the side of the tower 3 feet away, fed with a quarter wave of RG11, and they are tied together with a matching network that allows me to run 80 and 40 simultaneously. They're 90 degrees out of phase. I don't have to tune nothing. I go 80, hit it, boom, turn the amplifier where I need to go. I'm not going to explain it. There's no reason for explaining. Liars may figure, but figures don't lie. And when one's 90 degrees out of phase, then there's no reason to worry about it, the other part. So I get the best of both worlds. And I still have my receiving loop, which is awful nice. If you have an issue out there where you've got receiving issues, you can always take a 36-foot piece of wire with 8 foot or 9 foot of RG11 and in a diamond shape, like the old Moonraker 4, by itself, put it up on a building somewhere or in the attic, hook it up and to a 300-watt tuner, 100-watt tuner, tune 160, 80, whatever, makes the greatest receiving antenna in the world, especially during a lightning storm. But anyway, I'm having a blast. Once I figured out that manufacturer had a problem, they're sending me a new 500-foot spool row for free. So, but me and you're going to have fun finding out this, because I do have the equipment that will determine where the defect is. So with that being said, I'll turn it back over to you and wish you to pick up another contact. KC9VKV in the QSL logs. This is November 9 Golf Tango Oscar.
Roger, Lou. I just wanted to mention one other thing, and that is for folks that have rotatable directional antennas like rotatable loops, whether they be mag loops or just regular loops. And if you've ever been curious about how accurate the loop lobes are, you need to be able to see your loop in action as you rotate around. Well, that's sometimes hard to do because usually you have to get somebody else to hold your carrier or something to be able to actually see what's happening. But I don't know if you've ever considered using your antenna analyzer. Now, what's happening there in your antenna analyzer, you have a half a watt to a 1 watt actual transmitter inside your antenna analyzer. So, gosh, what a better way. You know, I use it now. I've been working on my my mag loop that got damaged by a fallen tree, and it's more at the top like a pear now, as opposed to a nice pristine round loop like it was. So I was just curious if that affected the directionality of the loop. And particularly, this is a large loop. It's a 10-foot, diameter loop. So sometimes when you start a large loop as the frequency as the loop size approaches the operating frequency, it becomes less predictable as far as its radiation patterns. So I just wanted to double check what was going on. So I took my antenna analyzer and I went directly west of my loop antenna about 100 feet, and I put a little piece of wire stuck into the coax fitting about 6 inches long, and then I put the antenna analyzer on the frequency that I was checking out as far as the loop was concerned, and I came back in and I left my receiver in sideband mode because the carrier that analyzer is generating is it's not sideband, it's just regular AM without modulation, and I was getting the nice little heterodyne right on the frequency that I was looking for, and I have, obviously this receiver has a VU meter tied to the output of the audio. So I brought my audio level up and got 0 level on my meter, and then started rotating my loop, and I could see as it turned around, I could see the level get less and drop on the meter, and I could hear it drop on the meter, and I was getting about 12 dB of plus and minus. At the null points, it was 12 dB down from 0 level, and as I brought it back around to its proper phase position, my level came back up to 0 level. So you don't have to be a mile away or anything to be able to accurately find out what's happening on a loop antenna, because you're just talking about a radiation pattern on a dumb loop, and it's going to be true. Probably you could sample that loop as close as 10 feet away, but I had 100 feet away, and obviously you can vary the analyzer signal strength by how much wire you use on the output of the coax fitting on the analyzer. If you need more signal, you add a couple of feet more wire, and like that. But just passing along a way to be able to double check your radiation lobes on loop antennas by using your antenna analyzer. This is KC9VKV, and Jack, are you still with us in Maryland?
Yes, I am. Actually, I switched microphones. I had to do something, and I took the headset off. Over.
Okay, now, what I was telling you about going back to your ALC, your level is drastically lower than where it was. So go to your ALC and work that mic. And, you have to kind of go 100, 200, 300. You have to have a fairly fast pace to keep that meter up so you can see to adjust it. But you want to go from mid-scale to 2/3.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, let me do a quick check. Hello. Okay, I can, doing that kind of thing, I can bring it up a bit. The mic gain had to come up quite a bit. Over.
Bring that mic gain up there. Don't be afraid of it.
Oh, heck, I took it from 20 to 53. I'm going to run it up a little farther.
Run it to 70.
You're killing me, man.
Don't worry about it.
You're breaking my head here.
It's all right.
You're breaking my head. I'm on an amplifier. Why?
What kind? 811?
Negative. It's Elecraft KPA 500.
Okay, like solid state?
Roger.
Okay, how much are you putting out carrier-wise?
Carrier on sideband? I hope none.
Peak on sideband, on your meter.
Hello. Okay, 550.
550, does that amplifier rated for 550, or it'll do 1,000?
It's rated for between 5 and 6. Over.
Okay, all right. What kind of antenna you got?
Let's see. I am on the 160-meter Carolina Wyndham at the moment.
Okay, there's your problem right there. Do you know what's going on? All that signal's going out to the end of that antenna. Once the higher the frequency you go, that antenna becomes a beam.
Oh yeah, I absolutely understand that. That's not an issue. For what I have right now, I can switch antennas. I can go to the vertical, but I'll probably disappear into the noise. Over.
That's okay. All right, that tells us what's going on here and the reason why we don't have a good copy on you, because I'm not hearing you at all in Milford, Pennsylvania at all. No signal whatsoever. So where are you located?
Not that far from Milford. I'm in north-central Baltimore County. We're right near the Pennsylvania state line, north Baltimore. Over.
And that antenna's pointing northeast, isn't it?
It's either northeast or... No, it's not northeast. Let's see. I got to think about the direction. Now it's more... north-northwest.
Putting a good signal down in Georgia.
Not getting it because there's
Putting a good signal down in Georgia.
We're getting just whatever we can from the, if you were able to walk out there and point that antenna down here, you'd just be blasting in.
Sounds pretty good in Georgia.
I'm aware of that, and I
Sounds pretty good in Georgia.
Using that antenna, people on that net that I call, which is ECARS, by the way, the East Coast Amateur Radio Service, are up and down the East Coast. I get a few people out into the northern Midwest, some folks down in Carolinas and Kentucky and out that direction. A few people out your way, but I'm sure there's a huge difference in the radiation pattern on 40 meter.
Yeah, if it was, I think like whatever, I forgot exactly what they are. I have experienced in burning those up. For some reason, they don't like AM.
Oh yeah, they're not designed for a real heavy load unless you buy the ultra high power matcher. The two transformers that go with it, the line transformer and the center conductor transformer. The center It's not center. Sorry, you know what I'm talking about. I switched over to the vertical, and that one should be performing reasonably. I probably dropped a little bit, but at the same time, I may be a little more constant.
Yeah, you're more. It's give or take, but I mean, I've heard guys. I think is that you out there, Art? Okay, I've heard guys in Georgia, Atlanta saying they're hearing you. I've heard various guys saying that you're coming in pretty good. So, you know, it's an atmospheric thing. But the bottom line is the rig sounds great. I like what I hear. And you buy an amplifier for your friends. You don't buy it for. But you know, my Elmer, when I was make a long story short. When I was real young, my Elmer would go to work, and I'd go in his basement and work work DX like crazy for about a month, and then all of a sudden the cards start coming in, and he says, "Lee, come here." I said, "What?" He says, "You down here setting the Drake on fire?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I had a blast." He said, "Yeah, but you're not supposed to do that. Look at all these." So I had to take my lawnmower money that whole month and have new DX cards made for him, W9ANI, Charlie Noise. Had to do that, and he was like, you know, you can't do that. I'm like, well, you know, I'm having fun, and I'm not bothering anybody. I'm not out selling dope or doing drugs or stealing or anything. I'm doing, you know, working hard, and I got your Elmer and me, and you know, good people, and yada yada yada. And he said, "Well, we're not going to do it anymore, but you will be moving on and getting prepared for life." I said, "That sounds great." So after I paid the $100 and something printing bill from a union printer, because he's a big union man, he was an engineer for Globe Union, and had sent all the cards off. I had to handwrite them myself and send them all off to everybody. Well, that was an embarrassing thing in 1970-something, but I had a hell of a lot of fun. But anyway, you got to use what you got to use, and that's what I'm doing here now, experimenting with an antenna system that it's kind of unique, but the antenna system you're a tester of this antenna system. So it came in about 12 o'clock, and I just got it up just now and hooked it up. So I'm beta testing it, and when the other box come in, I should be able to have 4 different directions to talk into at once all the relays and the phasing and everything is all hooked up in that GTO.
Roger, very good. Well, I better get out of the way, let Jim pick up a couple more people here. He's going to turn into a pumpkin otherwise. K4Iz, boy, did he go away.
Roger, Jack. Well, listen, Jack, you're sounding really good down in Georgia. You were 15 over down in Georgia. So that antenna is radiating. It's just where it's pointed is the thing, you know. But like I say, you were 15 over in Georgia. All that whole transmissions. So it's doing really well. Roger.
Transmissions. So it's doing really well. Roger.
Roger. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the help today, and always enjoy listening to what you got going. And N9Gto, great to make your acquaintance as well. So KC9VKV, Jack-Kd4Iz, I'll be out of here.
Roger, Jack, and just remember, when you switch those mics, be sure and go back to your ALC and adjust it from mid-scale to 2/3. And even though that mic that you're on, I think, was the one that has lesser output than the other, go ahead and take that mic gain on up. It doesn't matter as long as you're proper into your ALC, Roger.
As long as you're proper into your ALC, Roger.
Roger. Somebody's hollering for you.
This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.